Okay, so we are going to begin with reported speech, right? Now, let me tell you that reported speech is something in the grammar which you might have started somewhere in class 3 or 4, and till you go to college, you will have to deal with this. And if you understand the basics of reported speech, Anmol, I'm sure you are never going to make any mistake in sentence formation, in conversion of sentences, transformation of sentences, etc. Therefore, wherever you have a slight doubt, right, you must interrupt me and do ask me without any hesitation. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
In this reported speech, I have a series of presentations, say around 10 or 11 presentations. It is so detailed. Okay, so one by one we will take up. So first of all, there is an introduction. Let us start with the introduction of the reported speech. And now reported speech is what? What is it? Speech which is reported. Reported speech is actually the statement given out by someone. How it is that you will see here. This is just a small definition of direct speech and indirect speech. And this is actually indirect speech, which is called reported speech. Fine. Now, direct speech is the original words, the actual speech of someone, right? When we quote the words stated by someone, that is direct speech. Now, if I say, it's very sunny day today, right? So how you will express it? The teacher said, comma, inverted commas begin, it's very sunny day today. Now, what is it? This is the reported. This is the direct speech. Why? Because these are the original words stated by me. Now, if there is, suppose your mother asks you, what does the teacher say? Or what did the teacher say? You would tell your mother, the teacher said that it was sunny day that day. Now, what you did? You are reporting to your mother about what the teacher said. And when we report about someone, you know that we don't use those actual words. We change it according to our convenience. कभी किसी कोई बात होती है, अगर आप उसको अपना कन्वर्सेशन दूसरे को बताते हैं, मैंने उसको ये कहा, उसने फिर मुझे ये कहा. Don't we talk like this, right? Are you getting it, Anmol?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So you know that what happens by the time we report it to the third person, when I'm telling the third person, Anmol ने मुझे क्या कहा? Anmol ने कहा कि वो कल सुबह आएगी, right? Whereas Anmol has said, I will come tomorrow morning. This is the direct speech. But when I tell the third person what Anmol has told me, I change it like this. I change it like this. Anmol ने कहा कि वो कल सुबह आएगी. Now, when I say वो कल सुबह आएगी, that is the reported speech. That is the indirect speech. But when Anmol says, I will come tomorrow morning, then this is the direct speech because these are the actual words spoken by Anmol. I hope you are getting it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, let's see the definition once again. Direct speech describes the particular words spoken by someone, usually between inverted commas. Now, let me remind you a few statements we quote. For example, we say, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose said, give me blood, I will give you freedom. We always mention it like this, give me blood, I will give you freedom. Isn't it? We never say, Netaji said that we should give him blood and then he would give us freedom. No, we always use that direct speech. These are the words spoken by Netaji. And we always quote these words. So do remember, whenever we have the quoted words, they are always direct speech. Why? Because they are the actual words spoken by the person, right? In other words, direct speech is actual or original speech or statement given by someone. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, indirect speech. Indirect speech is the reported version of the direct speech. I gave you two examples. When I say it is sunny day today, when you are telling the third person what the teacher said, you change. Why? Because you are not telling my actual speech, you are changing it into a different form. You are changing it into the past form. Right? Similarly, I gave you an example of Anmol said, I will come tomorrow evening. And how I changed, she said that she would come. Right? So this is indirect speech. This is the reported version. जब third person किसी को बताता है तो वो उसको report करता है कि what the first or the second person said. Right? Indirect speech reports something said by another person. It is reported. It is passed on. It is conveyed by someone to another person. That's how it is termed as reported speech. Now, direct speech is also involved here, but why it is called reported speech only the term in grammar? Because we are learning how to change direct speech into reported speech or indirect speech, right? Now, the point here is that it's not one type of sentence that is changed. There are different types of sentences which are changed. Now, what are these different types of sentences? They are interrogatives, they are imperatives, they are exclamatories, they are simple statements as well. Then there is the tense form involved that is changed. Then modals are changed, helping verb is changed, etc., etc. Lot many things are there which are changed. Why? That is to convert from direct speech into indirect speech, or in other words, reported speech. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's go to the next now. Yes. Now here are a few pieces of conversation you will get. Okay, now let's see what happens. Neha and Rahul, these two young children, they are in conversation with each other. They are just sharing their hobbies. Neha said, I love singing. Rahul said, I love playing games. Now, Anmol, please help me. Neha said, I love singing. What kind of speech is this?
Direct speech.
This is direct speech. How do you know this is direct speech?
Ma'am, because these are actual words of Neha.
How do you know these are actual words by Neha?
I love singing, she said.
Okay. What else? How do you identify these are the actual words said by Neha?
And these are not in past form also.
Okay. These are quoted, child. These are quoted in between inverted commas. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
If I write here, Netaji said, give me blood, I'll give you freedom. I will write the same way. Netaji said, comma, inverted commas begin, give me blood, I will give you freedom, inverted commas closed. Right? If I quote Gandhiji, I would say Gandhiji said, non-violence is the article of my faith. So I would say Gandhiji said, comma, inverted commas begin, non-violence is an article of my faith, full stop, inverted commas closed. Why I would put in between inverted commas? Because they are the actual words by Gandhiji. I hope you understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So we identify this statement as a direct speech or reporting speech. How? Because it has been quoted. It has been quoted, right? Okay. Rahul said, I love playing games. The same reason here also. Why it is direct speech? Because it has been quoted in words, in commas. So why these have been put in between inverted commas? Because they are the actual words spoken by the speaker. These are the actual words spoken by this girl. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's go to the next. Neha said that she loved singing. Now, can you identify what kind of statement is this?
Indirect.
This is indirect speech, right? This is reported speech. I asked you, Anmol, what did Neha say? You reported to me, Neha said that she loved singing. Now, observe very carefully, Anmol. You would not say, Neha said that I loved singing. If you say, Neha said that I loved singing, don't you think that the meaning would be changed?
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, then Neha said that I love singing means Anmol loves singing.
Right, very good. Absolutely right. Now, do you understand? So if you say Neha said that I loved singing, it means that I refers to Anmol, not Neha. Fine. But when you say Neha said that she loved singing, now this she refers to Neha, and here you get complete and correct answer to your query. All right. So this is reported speech. Why? Because what Neha said has been reported to me by Anmol. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
The changes, do you see the changes also?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, inverted commas are not mentioned here,
they are removed.
and that is also.
That has been used. Okay. All right. What else?
And past form is used.
Past form has been used, right? Now, what here? That we will discuss later. But these are the changes you find when we convert a sentence, a direct speech into indirect speech. So what are the changes that are happening? First of all, inverted commas and commas, they are removed. And they are replaced by the word that. Earlier, that was mandatory, but nowadays it is optional. If you don't want that, you can write without that also. Fine. Then there is the change in pronouns. I has been changed into she, right? Then there is the change of the tense. The simple present has been changed into simple past. But the form is the same. How? It is present continuous. It is past continuous. Tense is changed, but the form is not changed. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, similarly, the second sentence, Rahul said, I love playing games. If I ask you, what did Rahul say? You would say Rahul said that he loved playing games. Again, if you don't want to use that, you can remove that also. You can simply say Rahul said he loved playing games. This is the new trend in grammar. Okay. Rahul said he loved playing games. Now this I has been changed into he here because Rahul is a boy. Do you remember? Okay. And remaining sentence is the same as we had discussed in the earlier part. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
As I have already told you, it is optional to put that between reporting verb and reported speech. You can do without that and you can do with that. This is all up to you. Shall we go to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, another piece of conversation. These are three friends. They are discussing a problem, right? What it is. Rini is lying in hospital, but she doesn't have money to pay bills. One friend, Krish, expresses his concern. And the other girl, Divya, she says, how can we help her? How should we help her? Rohit gives suggestion. I think we should contact an NGO or raise some funds for her. Clear? Right?
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
we will use this conversation. The direct speech, first of all. Krish said, Rini is lying in hospital, but she doesn't have money to pay bills. Now, in these bubbles, these sentences, they are the direct speech. They are the actual words spoken by these three speakers, right? Then here they have been put up in between inverted commas. Now, if I ask you, when three had been talking there, Anmol, you were there, did you listen to their conversation? You would say yes. I would ask you, what did Krish say? I saw Krish saying something. What did he say? You would say, Krish told that Rini was lying in hospital, but she didn't have money to pay bills. Now, what is this?
Indirect speech.
Indirect speech. You have reported the speech given by Krish, right? Then Divya said, how can we help her? Again, it has been put in between inverted commas, but do remember, it's a question. How can we help her? So here it is a question mark and then inverted commas closed. And when I ask you, what did Divya say? You said Divya asked how they could help Rini. Here it has not been said, Krish told, or Krish said, or Divya said. No, Divya asked. Why? Because it was a question. And a question is asked. Divya asked how they could help Rini. Now, what is this?
Indirect speech.
Indirect speech, right? Okay. Then Rohit said, I think we should contact an NGO or raise some funds for her. Yes and no. What did Rohit say? Read.
Rohit suggested that he thought they should contact an NGO or raise some funds for her.
Yes, exactly. So you have reported to me what Rohit said. Now this time, in place of said, you use the verb suggested, isn't it? Why did you use this expression suggested? Because the statement expresses this is a suggestion. If the statement expresses an advice, then it would be advised. If it expresses something else, then it would be used the verb accordingly, right? So Rohit suggested that he thought they should contact an NGO or raise some funds for her. So this has become an indirect speech. Fine? Okay. Now what you have to do, see the first indirect speech by Krish. Okay. Just read carefully, direct and indirect, and try to identify the changes that have happened when you converted Krish's speech into a reported speech. Yes.
Ma'am, the indirect speech is in past form.
Okay.
And the helping verb is converted into was. Means
Very good.
present continuous converted into past continuous.
Yes, good.
And doesn't converted into didn't.
Right, that is simple present converted into simple past, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. What else?
I think only these are.
No, Anmol. Krish said, helping, this reporting verb said has been changed into
Told.
told, right? Comma, inverted commas have been
That.
removed
Removed.
and replaced by that. Okay.
Yes,
And then the tenses have been changed that you have already told. Right? Okay. Good attempt. Yes. Come to the next. Now read Divya's direct speech and then compare it with the indirect one and identify the changes.
ma'am said converted into asked
Right?
and converted comma are removed. Inverted
Yes.
removed and can modal is converted into could.
Very good. Very good. And one more thing you will notice. Anyway, when I take up interrogative sentences, then I will tell you in detail what it is. How can we help? The formation of the sentence has been changed. How can we? We has been changed into they. Right? Now what it has been done? How they could help her. Right? The order of words in an interrogative sentence, it is changed when it is transformed into indirect speech. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now read Rohit's direct speech and Rohit's indirect speech.
Ma'am said converted into suggested
Right.
and inverted comma removed and replaced by that.
Okay.
I converted into he.
Very good.
Think converted into thought.
Wonderful.
And we converted into they.
Okay. Right.
Ma'am
That's
only.
all. That's all. Wonderful. Very good attempt. Did you understand this now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you see that in this one conversation, we have taken up three kinds of sentences, right? One is a simple sentence, telling, giving statement. Another is an interrogative sentence, asking question, right? And another is the sentence which is expressing a suggestion. Is that clear? Right?
Yes.
So this is what you will learn in this very topic. Under this topic, you will learn how we deal with different types of sentences and then we transform them into indirect speech. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we go to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Here is another one. Roger is talking nonsense again. And Roger says, no, I'm not. This is Susan. So there is conversation between Susan and Roger, but actually both of them, they are addressing another third person. Susan says, Roger is talking nonsense again. Roger says, no, I'm not. So Susan says, Roger is talking nonsense again. Now, what does this statement express?
He is complaining.
Complaining. So this is a complaint. That's why when we say Susan says, no, we say Susan complains because it is expressing clearly that it is a complaint. So instead of says, we say Susan complains that Roger is talking nonsense again. Right? The other one, Roger says, no, I am not. When Roger says no, what does it mean?
He is disagree.
He disagrees. Very good. He disagrees. He refuses. He does not accept. He does not admit. So he disagrees that he is not talking nonsense. Now we would not say he disagrees that he is not. No. We know the meaning of this sentence when he says, no, I am not, meaning I am not talking nonsense again, or I'm not talking nonsense. So we will complete it like this. Roger disagrees that he is not talking nonsense. So this is indirect, right? Okay. Now you just read Susan's direct speech and then indirect.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Says says converted into complaints.
Right.
Inverted commas are removed
Yes.
and replaced by that.
Yes.
And and it is in the present form. Present
Okay.
continuous.
So what do you think? Is there any change in the tense or not?
Ma'am, in the tense, not.
No change in the tense, right? Ask me why.
Why?
Yes. Look here. Why it is that there is no change in the tense? Because you see here the reporting verb. In the earlier conversations, the reporting verb was past tense. I will just take you there. You just see this. What here it is? Krish said, Divya said, Rohit said. So said is the past tense, right? That's why there was the change in the tense while changing into the indirect speech, right? Now here, the reporting verb is the present tense. So do remember when reporting verb is the present tense, then there would be no change in the tense. Now this sentence is Roger is talking nonsense again. So this is simple present and this is present continuous. So there is no change. Even if it was, Susan says, Roger was talking nonsense again, then also, child, there would be no change. You would say, Susan complains that Roger was talking nonsense again. Got it? This is
Yes.
the rule of the grammar. This is the rule of the reported speech. When the reporting verb is the present tense, there is no change. When the reporting verb is the future tense, there is no change in the tense while transforming it into the reported speech. So do remember, it changes only when the reporting verb is in the past tense. And I tell you that 98, 99% the reporting verb is given in the past tense. So we make changes. It is usually, it so happens that is just being used past tense in the reporting verb. So we make changes in the tense when we are converting it into the reported speech. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, see the next one.
Ma'am, says converted into disagrees.
Right.
And inverted commas are replaced by that.
Right.
And whole sentence of reported speech is in perfect present continuous.
Right. Very good. Very well done. Got it? And why? It is because this is present tense, right? Now you see that since the reporting verb is the present tense, when we are using a substitute word for this reporting verb say, that also is used in the present form. Like disagree, it is used as disagrees. Complain, it is used as complains. Why? Because the reporting verb is in the simple present tense. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So this was just an introduction, right?